What's up everyone, your boy Steve Kaneki is back. I know it's been quite some time since I've made a video for my channel. People have been hitting me up like crazy, trying to hear and see what I gotta say about Avengers Endgame ever since Thursday. I had some people hitting me up for theory videos, saying I should make a theory video. I wanted to, but then I felt that a lot of theories I've been hearing on the internet didn't feel like mine. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do the review and just get my opinion out there of what I thought about Avengers Endgame. And then I thought, let's do a two-part series to my review. This is part one, of course. I'm gonna be talking about what I thought about the movie as far as me in general. No spoilers. I'm not gonna talk about characters or plot points, a synopsis of what happens, a quick breakdown. I'm not gonna do that because I know certain people haven't seen the movie yet and I don't want to ruin it for anybody and get into spoiler territory. That's for video 2. So stick around, there's gonna be another part to it, and I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you're new. I'm Steve Kaneki, reporting live from the House of M. We're gonna go ahead and review Avengers Endgame, and I hope you enjoy this review. Avengers Endgame is written and directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. This is their third film out of 22 films that they directed in the MCU, otherwise known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starring a bunch of people. I gotta give them props, especially when you make a character like Captain America so much cooler in his sequel, The Winter Soldier. You take a villain we've been waiting for 10 years, known as Thanos, the Mad Titan from Planet Titan. You make a movie about him in Infinity War, how he was able to get all 6 Infinity Stones, put them in the gauntlet, and snap away half of all life, and now you've put the Avengers in a state that they seem that they can't get out of in Avengers Endgame. Let's be honest guys, it's no secret that the movie is 3 hours. Avengers Endgame didn't feel like 3 hours to me. The movie flowed with a strong beginning, a great middle, and a thematically pleasing ending. Everything flowed. It felt like a full circle film that I could relate to. It broke me down, it made me laugh, and it gave me scenes that I've been wanting from the MCU for 10 years. I've been telling people when you get to the third act of Avengers Endgame, you definitely feel the 10-year wait payoff, even if you haven't seen all the movies. I'm not one of those guys out here that has to say, you have to see all the movies to understand Avengers Endgame. No, you don't. That's like saying you have to see every single movie to understand Captain Marvel, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Spider-Man Homecoming. No, you don't. You can honestly go into this movie and have seen maybe 4 or 5 of them and get the gist of what's happening. And I've seen some people say, I've never seen any of the Avengers movies and completely understand Avengers Endgame because the plot is put from A to Z in front of you. There's points of the movie where they stop and they explain things, there's exposition, but the exposition didn't draw out. It wasn't dreadful. It was stuff that was kind of expected because you had to have those story building moments to make everything seem interwoven, integrated in the story to make it all fit together just right. I had to turn my brain off for Avengers Endgame. I went in with a personal wish list of A, B, and C, going down a list of what I wanted to happen, and I didn't get it. I wasn't upset at that at all. I'm glad that they exceeded my expectations by tenfold. Like, the Russo brothers and Marvel Studios have once again done it. Like, that's it. I think that they deserve a long vacation from the MCU. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're the best directors of all time, that there can be nothing like Avengers Endgame. My question to them now is, what's next? Because when you watch a movie this big, I will say and ask, can they do it again? Over a couple years time, maybe, but that's crazy because with Infinity War being Thanos' movie, he's such a complicated villain that I was finally happy to see the villain problem get kind of fixed with Infinity War. That my personal wish, I'm glad it might happen in another movie. Through the 3-hour runtime of Avengers Endgame, I felt that our heroes were in danger. I loved it. I thought that there was no way they could get out of certain situations, and they just kept one-upping my brain, had me pick my brain, and impressing me all at the same time. How they're gonna get out of this? Is this the end for them? Who's gonna die? Is it gonna get worse? Are they gonna get saved by such and such? But the jokes made the scenes much better, if you ask me, because the movie didn't pause the plot explain a joke, explain a punchline, and then get back to regular scheduled programming. I can't stand when movies do that because it makes the whole plot pointless because you're literally laughing at the danger, so I should laugh too. It's kind of like in horror movies when you expect the jump scare, the camera pans to the left, shows you something, then pans right, shows you something else, and then pans back, and then the protagonist of the movie jumps and they expect you to jump with them too. But you already have seen the monster hiding in the closet or hiding in the corner, therefore you prep your brain for it. Endgame is so emotionally up and down that I couldn't prep myself for it. There are people around me bawling in the theater, and I'm sitting with a smile on my face like, yo, this is good. I'm not saying that I shouldn't be crying or they shouldn't be crying, but that's what made me enjoy the movie so much more. There's a character change in this movie, guys, that totally works. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, but it made me relate to them because I've seen people go through it day in and day out, and by changing that character to that way, to that structure, makes me more and more appreciating. I just thought it was perfect. To compare and contrast Infinity War to Endgame, some people ask me which one is better. Honestly, I don't want to say the movies are tied. I don't think the movies are comparable because Infinity War took risks with characters that made you look at a larger than life scale on stuff in this movie is possible. Stuff in this universe does go there. It does go down. Endgame, they take risks on characters where they make you realize that we're not afraid to do this, if that makes sense. So there are going to be some changes as far as in both movies that some people might not like because the tonality for both movies is so different. Infinity War felt like a movie that was kind of faster as far as storytelling. They got to the point in some aspects. They had some flashbacks with Thanos. They had some expositions about the Infinity Stones to catch you up on if you don't know what a stone can do. They showed you how the stones work. And in Endgame, they kind of do this thing where they expect you to remember because of such good storytelling in Infinity War that they kind of push that off to the side and threw in more character arcs and threw in more explanation scenes to progress the story more forward. That goes back to my point of certain scenes didn't need to be as long in Endgame as far as comparing and contrasting to Infinity War. I felt that Infinity War's story was more cohesive than Endgame's because I can understand the first hour and 40 minutes of Endgame. The first act is like a setup. Like they're setting up things to get to the second and third act and even part of the fourth if you consider there's a fourth act because it's so much longer than Infinity War. Infinity War, like Thanos comes down, he explains how he knows what it's like to lose, he beats up the Hulk, he shows the power of the stone, he crushes the Tesseract, he shows he's a dominant force of nature, all within 20 minutes, right? And then Bruce Banner crashes down, tells Doctor Strange and Wong, Thanos is coming. And then we see the title. We flash forward to Tony Stark, he's with Pepper, and then Doctor Strange shows up. He goes back and they're having a conversation in the Sanctum Sanctorum in New York about the 6 Infinity Stones. Endgame, it does it in a way where it's kind of a pop quiz. In my opinion, they show you the power of certain stones in a way, and then they kind of get to the point by showing why certain characters are in certain scenes with Infinity Stones. They kind of do a recap, showing you things you already know. They explain why Infinity Stones are so important to the universe, why Thanos is such a dominant force of nature, why he needs to be stopped, the snap. They explain the whole timeline, the changes that certain characters go through. You get what I'm saying? Like the first hour and 40 minutes of Endgame is story setup, character arcs, what's happened 3 weeks after the snapping from Thanos in Infinity War. I don't think it's a secret or a spoiler to say that there's a final battle in this movie because that's like saying it's a spoiler to show that there's a final battle in Wakanda when the movie's called Avengers Infinity War and you see it in the trailers. Does that make sense? So as I say, did I enjoy the final battle? Yes, I did. There's lots of CGI. It didn't seem like a big CGI mess. It didn't seem like cookie cutter out of things like copycatting other movies or other battles that have been in the MCU, from the New York battle in the first Avengers, Age of Ultron, and even the scene in Wakanda in Avengers Infinity War or in Black Panther. I will say that the CGI on some characters could have been better. I will admit that it seemed that the Russo brothers were overwhelmed with so many characters being on screen and balancing screen time between one another, that when you see the movie more than once, you start to notice who gets pushed off to the side. It's very obvious. They couldn't show every single person and every single enemy getting, into a fight with each other. That wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have made sense. But altogether, it did feel very, very satisfying to see interactions, character team-ups, all the music crashing together. Everything was in unison, in my opinion. So as I bring this first part of a two-part series of my review of Avengers Endgame to a close, I just want to end it like this. Overall, I love the movie. You can nitpick it here and there. I'm not going to be one of those guys on the internet that says it's the best movie of all time, because it's not. It does have some flaws here and there. I was impressed by it. I loved it. I gave it an A+ because the story worked for me. I liked it a lot. I'm going to be watching it again here soon. I've already seen it 3 times, and it was definitely worth all 3 times. So that's it, guys. This is Steve Kaneki. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. I want to have some interesting discussions below. Please don't put any spoilers in the comment section, guys. Not until we get to the spoiler part of the video, because there are people who haven't seen the movie yet. They're still waiting. Please follow me on social media at Steve Kaneki on my Twitter, Instagram, and add me on Facebook. I'll be leaving all my social media links in the description box below. And I'll catch you next time with more and more content on this channel. Please stay blessed, and I'll catch you next time.